On this week's GTA 5 o'clock, new Heist info leaked, including missions, player roles, and payouts. More single-player DLC rumours, including zombies, and what do RockStar have planned for GamesCom? Find out on this week's GTA 5 o'clock. Hello and welcome to this week's GTA 5 o'clock. I'm your host, James Jarvis, and I'm joined this week by Mr. Trophy, Iain Wilson.
Hello.
Hello, yes, Dan is still on holiday, sunning himself in some European country. So Trophy's back this week to talk about lots of things, actually. We've got some Heist news and we've got some DLC stuff coming up, and we're going to talk about Gamescom, as you heard at the top of the show. So, Trophy, let's get straight into it. And Heists have been the talk of a lot of internet articles this week. Indeed, and YouTube videos. There are some new leaked animations that are out there thanks to Chrome X Mods, who put out a video. Now, there are over 100 of these animations, which seem to point towards a lot of different Heist things that is going to be coming in the DLC. The important thing to note here is not really the animations themselves. We've seen a lot of them in cutscenes and some of the RockStar released trailers for Heists and things, but it's the file names of what they're called. We won't go through them all because, as I said, there are 100 of them, but we've got things like Bank Heist 1, and then we've got MP_give-take, which could suggest that during the heist you can give and take things to other members of your team. I guess like ammo, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure.
So it could be ammo restricted. And then we've got some common things. We've got MP_common_heist, which has got ATM muggings, which are interesting.
Yeah, somebody sort of tapping away their PIN code or whatever on a machine, so whether you can grab them, get some cash. Who knows? Yeah,
I wouldn't say really a heist as such, but maybe it's something to start small with there. We've got pick door, so that's a new thing, picking locks and stuff in multiplayer. Rappel, which we saw in some of the single player missions. Smash case, which also looks a lot like robbing the jewelry store kind of stuff. Use terminal, which is normally used for hacking and that kind of thing. So they're all the common things that you'll get tied up in all of these heist missions. We've also got MP_common_miss, which has got boom_Brucey and boom_girl in it. I don't really know what those are, apart from, I guess, hints towards that Brucey could be playing a bigger part in this DLC.
Who knows, maybe. Yeah, he might make another appearance in the game. So, well, a new appearance in this game, should I say. So.
Yeah. We've also got MP_FIB heist. Now, this looks like it's the same one from the single player mission, which seems weird to me, of why you do the same sort of thing. If it's got the rappelling in it and jumping through windows, I don't really see why that would be in the multiplayer game as well, doing the same kind of heist. It doesn't really make much sense.
Yeah, so I mean, unless they do sort of repurpose that mission as a heist mission, because I guess if you've got a handful of players all working together for it, would put a different slant on the whole thing. Yeah,
I guess instead of having you control all three characters, you've got your team buddies.
So you can have a sniper up on the roof doing the covering and someone else flying the helicopter and all that sort of stuff. So
we've also got a couple of other heists which are mentioned in these files. We've got Country Bank, which I thought was the one out in Sandy Shores, but we've also got Rural Bank.
Right.
So I guess there could be a new bank to go and find somewhere out there. We've got Ornate Bank, which we've seen many a time in lots of leaked things. It's the one that's in downtown Los Santos. You've been in it,
Yes,
Iain.
That's it. Yeah, we did a video a while back, didn't we, where we found a way into the empty vault at that time. So
that's the one that's featured a lot in RockStar's officially released trailers of here are the people doing a heist on a bank, and that's the Ornate one. We've also got MP Mission Parley, which has gang boss shootouts in it, which I guess is going in and shooting a gang boss, because it looks like he's got a death animation in there. And we've got MP Safe House Lost, which isn't like your safe house has been taken away and you've lost it. It looks like you're actually working for someone else and taking it back to the safe house, much like you do in the multiplayer online drug runs kind of stuff, because you're dropping off packages. As you do it, he's talking on the phone, and he's got positive and negative endings and that kind of thing. So I'd assume that it's working for someone else, someone that we haven't seen yet. I'd guess it looks like he's sitting behind a desk, so it's not the same kind of thing that you'd get. It seems to be a more elaborate setup of going to someone's house or whatever, dropping things off. And we've also got Safe House Planning Room with pin printout on a board. You can see the character putting pins on a board, planning a heist out and that kind of thing. So it's all coming. This is obviously more evidence to suggest that it's coming sooner rather than later. A lot of things to think about there. Let us know in the comments if you've got any other ideas about mission heists that they could do in multiplayer and that kind of thing. One extra thing is there seems to be 6 different roles that you're going to have to do in the heist setups. We've got driver, hacker, hired gun, leader, parachutist, sniper. Now, I don't think you'll need all of those 6 roles for every heist.
Yeah, it may well be that during the planning stage, a bit like the single player missions, maybe you've got a choice of several different approaches. And perhaps which one you decide to go for there will dictate what sort of roles will come into the next phase.
Exactly. I'd suggest that you'd get a maximum of 6 players then doing these heists. That could probably go down to 3.
Yeah.
And you might even be able to, like the hired gun position, you might be able to buy in NPC help from like non-player control characters to come and do the sniping for you if you haven't got someone in your team and you need to bump it up to 4.
I guess, and whether it also kind of factors in the sort of risk versus reward of taking less players with you to do the job, and obviously getting a bigger cut of the proceeds, but then running the risk of failing the heist because you've not got enough backup for it.
Yeah, I can imagine a lot of the single player stuff bleeding into the multiplayer thing. So if you are hiring people, you're going to have to give them a cut. If they're better, if they've got better shooting accuracy, you're probably going to have to give them more than you would someone who's rubbish. And you have to weigh that kind of thing up. The maximum take for these heists look to be around 1.5 million for the entire crew. That will obviously have to split between however many people you've got in it. So if you've got the maximum amount of 6, that's going to be about $250,000 each, which is a fair chunk of money.
It's not bad, is it?
I guess you can't buy anything totally extravagant with that.
No, but you certainly, as you say, bank it up towards other purchases.
Yeah, much like other events that you do online, that 1.5 million will reduce, obviously, every time you do it.
Sure.
So you're not going to get that every time, but it's a fair chunk of money.
Yeah, and I guess that also kind of highlights the importance of planning it and making sure you do it right first time, because, as you say, if it diminishes every time you do it, you've got less chance of making the big bucks from it. Yeah,
exactly. So, yeah, let us know what you think about those heists. We've got more information on the heists coming up in the GamesCom bit a bit later on, so make sure you stay tuned for that. We will talk about our GTA 5 o'clock cruise, which we'll need to be in to do some of these heists. We'd imagine it'll make it much easier for playing with friends. So we're looking for another commissioner. At the moment, we've got Steve Stacey, but we'd like someone else to come in and help him out, organise crew events, do some hierarchy stuff, and generally just be a part of our community, help us run it, help us get everyone have as much fun as possible. So if you fancy being a commissioner in our cruise, you can email contactgatavoclock@gmail.com. We'll put a link in the description. So click on that, just let us know why you think you should be a commissioner, and we will start that process. Right, moving on then to DLC. We've had heists, now we're going on to DLC. There seems to be another leak which has a DLC, well, the concept of a DLC loading screen. It's not actually the finished one. Yeah. It's actually something that looks like you could have made in Paint if you wanted to.
It's pretty basic, isn't it? So.
Yeah. Now, this has come from the GTA forums and Chrome 3 mods. Again, I think they've worked together to dig this kind of stuff out. What it is like in GTA 4 when you got the selection screen when you first loaded it up to say, do you want to play GTA 4 or do you want to play Ballad for Gay Tony? That kind of thing. Yeah. It's a very rudimental version of that basically just says GTA, Trevor, or dead. So let's, for a minute, say that this is a real, definite thing that's happening. Yeah. The Trevor section of it would imply, obviously, that that's going to be Trevor-related DLC. Yeah. So if we're going down that route, it could take him to a different location, not in Los Santos. It could take him away to somewhere like GTA's imagining of Las Vegas, possibly.
Right, okay.
Or it could take him back to before North Yankton, when he was, building up, doing stuff with Michael.
Yeah.
Or it could, if it's going to be set in the universe that they've already built in GTA 5, then he has to really stay in Sandy Shores, because he's not...
that's his area, isn't it? So.
Yeah, and in the game, he doesn't visit Los Santos until he hears about Michael, and then he goes into the city.
Yeah.
So there have to be some way of blocking that off, if that's going to happen. Could it focus on his flying days? It could tie into the flight school stuff that we've seen could be happening as well. We obviously know he's a retired pilot. Could we be seeing a lot more flying missions in there? And if it is in a different location, there has been talk of Rockstar adding additional stuff to the map, like actual other islands and things.
Okay.
I don't myself see that happening.
Yeah.
I think that would be a weird thing to do. But I do see a way of them saying, if you visit like the airport in San Andreas, you could fly to a different island.
Yeah.
And that would have a new map on it.
It'd be like a completely separate, self-contained area rather than just something tacked on the side.
Yeah, and you could expand that to GTA Online as well. You could just visit the airport. It would give you like a loading screen or a plane animation, and you'd see yourself flying off to a different place. So that kind of thing could work. It looks like the Trevor supposed leaked DLC has casinos in it, which will please a lot of people. Assassination missions and CIA missions, or IAA, I guess it would be in GTA 5. So that implies that Trevor would be working in one form or another with or against the IAA, I guess. Maybe it's set like after the North Yankton thing goes wrong, and he's trying to investigate what happened if Michael set them up or anything like that. Again, if it's set in Sandy Shores, you could see some involvement with the Lost or other MC clubs like that, driving around that kind of area. So that's Trevor. Let us know if you've got any other suggestions for the Trevor form of the DLC. The other side of it, Dead, points to a zombies. Well, I think it's ZMB _ section. Zombies have obviously, Rockstar have dabbled with them before in Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, sure.
Is it something you want to go back to?
It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because zombies always seem to be popular with players, but then at the same time, there's so many games have done it now that you kind of wonder whether Rockstar would go down that route again, or whether they think maybe it's maybe a little bit cliched or something, and they'd want to go somewhere else instead. Yeah,
it's an interesting one. I don't know if Rockstar would want to repeat.
Yeah, it was for the Undead Nightmare in Red Dead Redemption was a really good, strong piece of DLC. But as you say, whether that sort of thing would translate again to a GTA 5 setting, difficult to say.
GTA's been GTA 5 has been focused on aliens more than anything else.
Yeah, you'd think if they were going to do something a little bit wacky, maybe, or a little bit sort of away from the actual reality of the main game, then aliens would be the way to go forward with that. But
well, the people on GTA forums and Chrome 3 mods seem to suggest that this is almost guaranteed to happen, like zombies are coming. Now, obviously, that's just based on file names and things like that. File names can quite easily be changed in the last minute to just point to something else, or it could just be a placeholder thing. It could be leftover code from Red Dead Redemption, and they're just using that same title screen to work out how it works in GTA 5. So, we'll see. And that easily moves us on to Gamescom.
Oh, yes.
And I think Gamescom is where we might see what this kind of stuff is or is relating to. There was no patch this week. Everyone was expecting a patch because the Independence Day DLC was taken out. So they were expecting a new update, possibly DLC related. That hasn't happened. I would suggest that that's because they've held it back for something that's happening at Gamescom next week. Normally Rockstar don't attend these kind of events, as we saw with E3, but they do let other companies sort of do it for them. So there you go, Sony, you can have our GTA 5 trailer, put it in your big show reel. There's nothing to suggest that that's going to happen again, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sony, as part of their conference, do announce something GTA 5 related next week. The Sony conference is on the Tuesday, I think.
Right.
Which would probably be perfect timing to say heists are out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if it will be heists. They could throw it out there. I mean, Rockstar with their DLC stuff, especially the free stuff, have announced everything like a day before.
Yeah.
Gone, hey, this is coming.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
here it is.
Here it is.
Which is a really cool way of doing things. I really like that approach, and it gets everyone really excited. It gets everyone in there straight away.
Yeah.
You're not waiting weeks for this thing to happen. Yeah. So they could do that. They also could finally announce the next-gen release date.
Of course, yeah.
I don't see them doing both. I think they probably have to do one or the other. Now, predictions. Troph.
Right.
I think is probably going to have to lean towards a Sony bias.
Yeah.
I think with the history that they've got now with E3, GTA 5 is they've tried to associate themselves. Sony have tried to associate themselves as much as possible with it, and I think it'll probably be at the next gen launch date that they'll announce.
Yeah, that sounds as though if it's actually Sony delivering that, then that would make more sense.
So I'm going for next gen release date announced by Sony with possibly a new trailer as well, like a short new trailer showing off the game.
Yeah, showing off the new visuals and stuff. So.
In terms of heists, I think they could potentially leave them. I know a lot of people will be really angry that they're delayed even more. I think they might leave them until the next gen release is out, and then around Christmas time, I guess it would be, or something, put them out across both platforms and go, here are the heists, here's what you've all been waiting for all this time. Enjoy, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that would probably make people quite annoyed.
Yeah, it might.
But it's feasible at the same time.
So let us know what your Gamescom predictions for GTA 5 and anything else in the comments below. And we will be here next week to see if I'm right or if any of you guys are right. Finally, this week we have the results of our Snapmatic competition. Last week's theme was the day job.
Oh, yes.
So I asked people to go around and get interesting snaps of people doing day jobs. We will start with Luke ID123, who came up with this wonderful shot of a man with a guitar.
Nice.
This good. I don't think I've seen much of this guy running around the streets.
I don't know whether it's actually where this shot was taken, but I know sort of down below the pier, by the sort of Venice Beach style area, there's a few different buskers you can get there. Sometimes with guitars, sometimes with bongos, that sort of thing. So maybe he was snapped down by the beach there. Nice,
interesting day job. Probably not going to make much money. But
has he even got a hat on the ground? Or
no,
is he just doing it for fun.
He's just got a hat on his head.
Oh, well, there you go.
But there we go. So thanks for that, Luke. Next up is Nick M5526. He's a regular contributor to these kind of competitions. This is a great one. A welder.
Oh wow.
I don't know what he's making.
Some kind of girder.
Yeah, something to maybe it's part of a bridge or something like that.
Do you think this might be down in maybe one of the tunnels that you go through? Depending on which route you take on the first heist, there's a sort of tunnel system escape route. So maybe it will be somewhere down there doing some patching up on the inside of the tunnels. Yeah, I mean that's a great shot. Good shot there. Good use of light as well. The original Tiny T, he sent in quite a number of shots, so I had to pick what I thought was the best one. Okay. I picked this guy, the fruit seller guy. Oh, nice. Who's also on his phone. Like, obviously, no one wants fruit these days. That's it. So maybe he's managing his online marketplace. Oh, nice. But I don't know. Fruit's got quite a short shelf life, hasn't it? Yeah. So, comparatively, so maybe that mail order business isn't going to take off as well as he thought. Maybe he's tweeting out where he is. Ah, maybe, yeah. I'm here. Yeah. Look at all the fresh fruit come down. That's it. He's Instagramming some images of his fruit. But that's a great shot. So well done, the original Tiny T. Dr. Funbags has snapped a spaceman. Very nice. Now, I'd suggest he's probably an actor. Yes, yeah. I haven't seen any rockets in
in GTA yet, taking off to go to the moon and back. But that's, yeah, a really nice shot of an actor being a spaceman.
Yeah, probably down on the movie lot, I guess, somewhere around there. But, nice black and white shot, that.
Good use of filters, fun bags. Yeah. But the winner this week is Richard Joyce, who has managed to snap this perfect shot of a man on a day job. He is obviously a mechanic.
Yes.
Fixing a truck there, I think. I think this is in more of the industrial area, but we really like the nice shadows he's got, and he's really caught the guy on the job.
Yeah.
So to speak.
As it were. Nice composition there. You say all the shadows creeping across there, maybe sort of mid to late afternoon, getting towards the end of the shift.
That's great. Yeah, so well done, Richard Joyce. You are our winner of this week's Snapmatic competition. Thank you for all your entries this week. We had loads of them. A lot of you said you really enjoyed doing it. Special mention to Bram van den Boschie. I hope I've pronounced your name right. You had lots of incredible entries you sent us. I wanted to give you a special shout out because your shots were really good. I really liked them. So moving on to next week, and the theme is Hollywood. Obviously, GTA 5 is set in and around Vinewood, yeah, the reimagined. Yeah. Maybe I should have called it Vinewood. Maybe the theme is Vinewood.
Vinewood, yeah.
Yeah, lots of shots of things that represent Vinewood. Obviously, you've got Hollywood movie actresses.
Yeah.
The stars.
You got the movie lots. You got the letters on the hill.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff to work with.
Lots of inspiration there, so I expect lots of good entries from you. If you want to take part in the competition, you can leave your links, Snapmatic links, in the comments below, or you can get in touch on Twitter at GTA Video Clock, or go over to our Facebook page and post them there, which is facebook.com/GTA Video Clock. And that's it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed the show, and don't forget to get in touch with those Snapmatic entries and come back next week at 5 PM GMT for another episode.